All right, hey guys, so we're still in part 2, Captives, reading chapter 20, Questions. We headed off after a quick breakfast. I walked beside Kara, my head just at the level of her feet, which were hanging over Valeno's side. Tobble, who seemed to have boundless energy, often ran ahead. He quickly learned not to walk directly in back of Valeno. Horses occasionally deposit gifts behind them. We kept moving all morning. Kara led us to the northwest to avoid the Therian marshes. It's a slow route, she admitted, but at least we'll avoid the mud. And the serpents, Tobble added. Around noon, we stopped near a sweet stream and ate some dried snake and thin sliced onions Tobble had foraged. I borrowed Kara's knife, slashed it through a straight stick, and showed off my daring skill at fishing. It took a while, but I gaffed 2 fish, a small trout, and a slightly larger purple twigfish. It wasn't much of a showing. Any of my siblings would have done a far better job. As we moved on, I sensed that Kara's fear was lessening, even as a new nervousness was growing. Still, she checked the trail behind us, and from time to time she asked me if I smelled anything unusual. But it seemed her thoughts and hopes were directed forward now. At night we made camp in a low depression within a glen. Tobble and I gathered twigs and branches, and Kara started a fire. We dined on cooked fish for Kara and me, whirligig beetles for Tobble, and berries for all of us. After we ate, I lay on my back and watched the stars stake out homes in the endless sky. I felt strangely at ease, lulled into a comforting place without questions. For long minutes I didn't dwell on my past or fret about my future. I didn't ask if I would ever again look into the eyes of another Dairn. I just listened to the steady pulse of cricket song throbbing like the earth's own heartbeat. Kara and Tobble seemed calmer too. They sat near the flames, gazing at the fire's hypnotic dance. I wondered what they were thinking, and at last curiosity got the better of me, although I hate to interrupt the calm. You no longer seem worried about the poachers, I said to Kara. Kara raised her eyebrows in surprise. What makes you say that? Dairn intuition? Well, you're right. As it happens, poachers are outlaws everywhere within the kingdom. But as a practical matter, they're only in real danger when they approach settled lands. So we're getting close to our destination. Kara pointed vaguely to the east. The united villages of Dolgrate are a few leagues that way. She twisted and pointed to the northwest. The Free Traders' city-state is a few leagues in that direction. We still have to keep an eye out for the Murdano's men, but soldiers aren't stealthy. We'll hear them if they're near. You know this area well then, I asked. Well enough. I hesitated to ask my next question, given my own experience. Still, there was so much to know about this girl. Do you have any family nearby? Kara looked at me, her face expressionless. In a manner of speaking, how about friends? I don't have any friends. Tobble's eyes went wide. But everyone has friends. I didn't, I said. Not really. I mean, my siblings were my friends, I suppose. Friends are a luxury we can't always afford, Kara said without emotion. I wanted to press further, but I was coming to understand that Kara was frugal with words. She spoke when she wished to, and otherwise remained silent. No prodding on my part would get her to say anything she was not ready to say. We were a bad match as captive and captor went. I wanted to ask 1,000 questions. She rarely wanted to answer even one. But sometimes questions have no answers, and even when there are no answers, even when there are answers, they may not be what we want to hear. The gentle winds shifted, laden with familiar scents of honey and lavender, smells from my past, from my life before pain. I closed my eyes to keep the tears from coming, as homesickness washed over me like a cold and biting wave. We traveled for 2 more days. When Tobble or I grew footsore, Kara pulled us up on Valeno's back to ride for a while. In exchange, We gathered tender beef flowers that grew alongside the path and fed them to the horse. Sometimes he would nuzzle us in thanks, or let out a satisfied nicker. He seemed to be especially fond of Tobble. I wonder what Valeno thinks about all day, Tobble said, while riding atop the big horse on the second evening of our journey. He has two thoughts, I'm guessing, I said. One is I'm hungry, and the other, asked Kara, I'm not hungry. You're just saying that because he's not one of the 6 governing species, Tobble objected. That doesn't mean he's not pondering great philosophical questions. As if in answer, Valeno lifted his tail to leave a particularly odorous gift on the path. Never mind, said Tobble, and Kara and I both laughed. At the point where the trail became a road, Kara said, Well, I suppose it's time for me to become a boy once again. Why? Tobble asked. We'll soon be encountering fellow travelers, and it's easier to accomplish just about anything as a male, Kara explained as she tied back her hair. That's not fair, Tobble said. It shouldn't matter whether you are a male or a female. No, Kara agreed, but it's been my experience that life is rarely fair. She looked me up and down. We have to disguise you as well, Bix. Because I'm a Dairn. Yes, you're a rarity, and rare things draw unwanted attention. I shifted uncomfortably. How will I disguise myself? I asked. But of course I knew the answer. Kara grinned. If you walk on all fours, avoid speaking, and occasionally wag your tail. I sighed loudly. I know I have to do this, but let me make clear, I am not a dog. Yes, I know, Kara said. If you were a dog, I wouldn't be debating this with you. I never liked dogs, Tobble volunteered. They love to chase wabbits, also eat us. Here's the thing, I said. Dog used to be an insult to Dairns. I don't mean that we despise dogs, we love them. Try being treed by a hungry hound and then tell me how you feel about dogs, Tobble interjected. But in stories from the old days, I continued, in the time when humans and Dairns lived side by side, one of the insults hurled at us was that we are nothing but dogs. Sorry, Bix, said Kara. It's for your own good. I know. With a mighty sigh, I dropped to all fours. Arf, I said without conviction. Who knew, Kara said, giving my head a perfunctory pat, that it was possible to bark with such bitterness. All right, guys, that's the end of that chapter. I love you, and I will see you soon.